Okay, I'm
Easier
going
for
to
you.
do that. Okay, we're doing that. Well, hello, Denise.
Hello,
I'm
Joy.
very excited. You are my guest on my very first episode of Alive with Joy, alive exclamation point with joy, because I'm not dead yet. And my name is Joy
Mhm.
Overstreet, and I'm a color consultant in Portland, Oregon, and Denise is a color consultant in LA, right? Where are you exactly?
Los Angeles, West Hollywood area.
West
Los
Hollywood. Oh,
Angeles.
okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, so the reason that I wanted to speak with you,
Mhm.
even though I have never actually met you except for in uh, Facebook uh, color posts or Zoom meetings of our professional association, I was very curious after I saw you post a picture of yourself with your palette. I hope you
Mhm.
have your palette with you.
I
Uh,
do.
Good. That had like 16 sticks in it. It looked to me like 15 when I saw it, and uh, I am a very color greedy person, kind of a color hog. I have a very fat fan because I can,
Hmm.
and I was wondering what it's like to manage with a very small palette.
Uh-huh. Well, first, let me say thank you. It's such an honor to be with you on your maiden voyage here. It's just a delight to have this conversation, and thank you for inviting me. And this whole topic of color and color palettes is my passion. So I hope we can bring some light to the people who are listening. So, about my palette. Yes, I am what's called in the Suzanne Cagle system
Mhm.
a vital spring.
Mm.
And that means that I am a crossover between a spring and a winter.
Mhm.
And that may add some insight to why I'm really good with a limited color palette. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't really think of it as limited, as in I don't have enough. I
Yeah,
think of it as more how I work well with less,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
yes, it does.
If I were to break my palette into colors versus neutrals, this is where I can live very comfortably. Now, I wore a bright color today just as contrast. Can you see that? Is that
I can see there's dark and there's light. The colors are really
hard
hard.
to
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
Okay, so
And
it
that's always the trouble with dark neutrals. I mean, they just don't photograph well. So,
exactly
yeah. So what are
ivory,
they?
ivory,
Uh-huh.
black,
Uh-huh.
grape. I think this is my related white, which is like a chrome from chrome yellow. This is tender spring green, which is my casual neutral that I'm thinking about swapping out, not forgetting it, but using another color. This is my eye color.
Uh-huh.
And
Which is, are you warm brown eyes?
yes, warm
Uh,
brown eyes. Yes.
okay.
And then this is my skin tone light and skin tone dark.
Uh-huh.
So
Light looks very light.
well, on the camera it does, but it's quite
Yeah.
bright for me. It's
Yeah.
meant to be a little bit lighter than my skin tone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And also, I wanted to highlight that in the color harmonies, I'm neutral. I'm neutral in color harmony. So that supports me being really successful in just wearing neutrals.
So you're neither, what you're saying when you say you're neutral, you're neither warm nor cool.
Actually, what I'm saying is that I am not complementary coloring. I'm not triadic coloring. You know,
Okay.
I am neutral. It's the neutrals that you see in me: dark hair, brown skin, brown eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So,
right.
yes.
Okay.
Mhm. So that really supports me being neutral too in my colors. So I can live here, you know, and these are the colors. And there are some that I still haven't worn.
I see
So
the winter. I see the winter. Yeah. Mhm.
influence,
Yeah.
yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. The beautiful. Is that a green?
Oh, yes. This is a dark green, and then this is what I have on today. It's
Yeah.
a meadow
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
All medium value, which is
Uh-huh.
another aspect to colors for me, is that I'm in the medium value area. So I don't do well with pastels. I don't do well with high value, just medium, right there in the center. Like
Medium
stripe.
value meaning light or dark. You're just like medium dark.
Yes,
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
You know, a couple of ticks in one direction and I could be higher contrast.
mhm,
You know?
mhm.
So it's fascinating when we take the individual into consideration. And I wanted to kind of lobby the question back to you in terms of your color palettes and how beautiful and extensive they are in terms of numbers. So
I know.
is that dictated by the person that's sitting in front of you or your personal approach to creating a palette?
I think it's a combination. What I have realized about myself is that um, I, well, I'm color greedy. I mean, I want all the colors.
Mhm, mhm,
I can't have all the colors, but I want them. And the truth is that I only wear a small range of the colors that I can because I seem to gravitate towards certain ones.
mhm,
But and I also realized that I could live with a very teeny tiny wardrobe because nobody really notices what you're wearing. They
mhm,
notice how you look. They
mhm,
say, they notice you look good or you are looking a little off or the clothes don't compliment you, but they don't notice that you're wearing a navy jacket with a blouse with little polka dots on it or whatever. They just notice you look good
mhm,
or not.
mhm,
But I open my closet and I get bored if I see the same thing. And so it's really I think that my own personal palette is out of boredom more than anything.
mhm.
If I have it too constrained, not that I go everywhere on it, but it's just like I want my options.
Yes, yes.
uh, yeah, so my palette, and it's going to be very hard to see these things. I don't know. So
Uh-huh.
mine is I'm a what's known as a rose tone summer,
Mhm.
um, but so
Okay, yes, I can
I
see.
do I do a lot of the grapey things and
Uh-huh.
the blue greens.
And what color are your eyes? Are they
My
dark?
eyes are blue,
Yes, okay.
yeah, but they're blue gray, and it's interesting because I've gone gray, white.
Mhm,
Um, I really I can wear white now, which I never did before.
mhm,
And I do, this is a skin tone. I don't know if you
mhm.
can tell that. Um, but um, I also have always felt like a misunderstood winter.
Aha.
And so I do gravitate. So this is very light for me. I don't usually wear light. I
Mhm,
actually like pretty shaded,
mhm.
like mahogany or dark blue,
Okay.
or dark gray. But and I think when I had my color revamped with Olga, who's our
Mhm.
mentor. I don't know, did you train with Olga as well?
I did not. I've taken a
Yeah,
course in her presence, but I did not train with
yeah.
her. Yeah.
Um, I was first typed as an iridescent summer,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, no, no,
Mhm,
no,
mhm,
I can't
mhm.
do that. That's too. An iridescent summer is quite quiet, quite
Yes,
pale,
gossamer,
and I
light.
just felt like yeah, just it's more mermaidy.
Yes,
uh,
exactly.
it just
Mhm.
didn't feel like me. Um, I'm too brash.
Grounded,
I'm
grounded.
too grounded. Yeah, yeah, okay, or brash. Yeah.
So do
So
you wrap your arms around the rose tone summer?
I do,
Mhm.
but I veer more towards a little drama of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So as we know, rose tone summer is the crossover between with spring. So do
Uh-huh.
you relate to spring at all?
In the simplicity, yes,
Okay.
I do, because I don't really go for fussiness. I have to be convinced to do
Mm-hmm.
something that's got ruffles or very drapey.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like to fuss with clothes. I'm
Okay. Okay.
uh,
Got it. And you like
yeah.
straight lines or a little curved line?
A little
A little
curve, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I don't think of myself as a spring. I'm too introverted to be a spring, I think.
I'm
Uh,
an introvert and I'm a spring, so we come in
well,
all
yeah, but
shapes, sizes,
right,
colors.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Mhm.
right. So I have clients who come to me because
Mhm.
they want to do a capsule wardrobe.
Yes.
And that's why they really appreciate the limits of a palette. So they know, like I know, I simply cannot do orange. I cannot do
Yes.
lime green. So when I
Yes.
go into a yellow, go into a store, I just like that department is not for me, and which makes it
Yes.
really easy.
Yes.
And doing a capsule wardrobe like for a trip is very easy.
Mhm. Mhm.
When you have a palette, you can just mix and match.
Mhm.
So for you, that would be certainly an advantage. You don't have to have clothes in every color of the rainbow because you're
No, when I moved from being outfit driven to mix and match driven, it really helped me blend and harmonize and understand that really with these few colors, I feel limitless because there is a pattern within these colors. So the only really successful print and pattern I wear is animal print. There are others out there, but animal print includes all of my neutrals, my related white, my hair, skin, and my eyes. So I feel like I've hit a home run with that print. So when I include that with my solids, I'm just good to go.
uh-huh.
In the airport, I can wear black on an airplane in the airport. When you're traveling, you can mix and match so easily. So it's not limiting for me, this palette.
Uh-huh.
It really enhances my ability to wear all my colors. And if I'm going all of my neutrals and pull in the colors when I choose, and that's probably not going to be anything really, really bright unless I'm going to a wedding. Like,
Yeah.
and that takes us into another conversation. Wearing my red requires that I have a lot of energy.
Yes,
It takes
correct.
energy for me to wear my red.
Right. And it takes some of the more dramatic colors also take energy. You just really would rather wear your eye color when you're feeling kind of meh, uh,
Yes,
because
yes,
you don't have the energy to pull off the
yeah.
the wowzer.
Dramatic outfit. Yes,
Yeah.
I also wear my eye color just if I'm going to lunch with someone new, or meeting a new client. And I feel like that it really just shows a part of me. It reveals something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I like
Yeah.
wearing my eye color, but I've got to be careful because Joy, I'm brown, brown, and brown. And so I've
Right.
got to break that tie. And how do
Yeah.
I do that? And
Yes. Good question.
yeah.
How do you do that? Because uh, well, Portland is a pretty white city.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
the vast majority of my clients are white. And
Hmm.
so my eye has gotten quite experienced with that. But
Yes.
occasionally I get Asian,
Hmm.
I've had quite a few Asian
Hmm.
clients
Yeah.
and handful of African American.
Hmm.
And it's always like, but people with brown eyes and brown hair and brown skin, it's like, where's the excitement? How do we do
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes. How do you break that
And
tie?
one other thing is
Yes.
that this color system that we're using
Hmm.
was designed by a white woman for white people. And
Hmm.
um, everybody, you don't have to be white to be concerned about how you look and looking your authentic best. Um, so talk to me about that.
Well, okay, we've got a couple of things here. I'll talk about how I break the tie in my wardrobe. One is the animal print, and the other is to wear monochromatic outfits in varying values. So
Oh,
we started off talking about medium value,
mhm.
but if I wear a skin tone, I'll wear it in dark, medium, and light values.
Mhm.
Or I'll switch up the fabric. So my top
Mhm.
will be silk, my pants will be cotton. So
Mhm.
that moves the eye around a little bit and helps
Mhm.
it not be
Mhm.
so boring.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so what you mentioned about moving the eye around, that is so important because that's really what we're doing when we get dressed,
Mhm.
is we're moving,
Directing the eye,
we're directing the eye of the people who are looking at us. You know,
viewers.
where do we want them to look? Mostly we want them to look up here.
Come back up to the face,
Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah.
Mhm. So that means mostly that I'm wearing dark shoes or shoes that are the color of my hem. You know, because my
Yeah, yeah.
legs are lighter, I'm going to get a higher contrast. So I had to really work with that too. Do you follow? So if my hem ends here, then there's leg and then there's a shoe. If I have a dark shoe against my leg, that's going to be high contrast and the
Right.
eye will stop there.
Right.
So I'll wear the color of my outfit. The shoe will be the color of my outfit.
Huh.
I
So
won't.
it's not the color of your leg?
Uh, Skin tone, yes. Skin
Yeah.
tone, yeah. That's a good point, skin tone. But I want it to come back up to my face. So with dark hair, I've got to have something on below that's on the top too, you know, so it
I see.
becomes a real puzzle to figure
Yeah.
that out.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, back to
Yes,
the white people
yes.
problem, which
Mhm.
is, at least in this
Context,
conversation,
yes. Mhm.
um, how did you train, since it's a training that has been directed towards white people all these years?
Mhm. Mhm.
How did you train? Because I'm sure you have probably more people of color in your practice than I do.
Actually, I probably don't. I don't have a lot of people of color in my practice, but to answer your question, I had to untrain my eye.
Ah,
You know, I had to untrain my eye and see people differently. In fact, I have to do that whenever I go into a session because I come in with my unconscious prejudices, if you want
sure,
to,
sure.
want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
call
yeah,
it,
yeah.
you know. And so I say, please, okay, help me pull back my projections and really see who this person is. And so the few people that I have done, people of color, Asian and Black and Latino,
Yeah.
um, I've really had to look at the skin. As you know, sometimes the person, well, most of the time, the person in front of us will tell us where to begin the consultation.
Mhm,
You know, if
mhm,
they have this exquisite pair of eyes, you know, or this different color hair, it will tell us this is where I've got to start so I can get the color quality correct.
mhm, mhm,
So I always start with the skin. You know,
mhm,
is it a little
mhm,
more red? Is
mhm,
it a little more yellow? Is it a
mhm,
little more pink?
mhm,
Dial in that color quality, then we can go from there because color quality is everything. You know,
mhm. Yeah, yeah,
if you have the temperature correct, even if the color is off, you
yeah,
can be pretty
yeah,
good, but you really
yeah,
want to dial in that color
yeah,
quality. Mhm. So that's
yeah.
where I start. Now, our system that we have is, how shall I say, there's room for improvement. There's
Yes.
room for different colors like oranges. I mean, there's not a lot of oranges in the system. There's not a
Yeah.
lot of certain colors of greens in the system. And when you get someone with a deep, rich, dark skin tone, they can handle those bright colors
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
beautifully.
Yeah.
And we don't have those in our system yet, you know? So that's kind of what I've had to do. So I kind of pick and pull and find colors for them to
Yeah.
really match not only the quality of their skin, the color quality, but their personality, you
Right.
know, their
Yeah.
personality and who they are and how they want to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a Chinese woman who does a lot of media work, so she's in front of the camera a lot, and she turned out to be a dark summer,
Mhm,
a dusk summer,
mhm.
um, but she also could pull off. Well, I have Legos in front of me, so
Oh, great.
I'm
Show
gonna
and
grab a Lego.
tell.
She rather she like could I've got a bigger piece of she could do this color, you know, a bright, strong yellow, and she could do a strong red, and she could do definitely a winter's dark purple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I gave her this subdued palette, which she loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her 3 additional colors, which she called her Empress colors, which are this yellow, the red, and the purple, which she wears for dramatic effect. But you lay them on the palette and they're like, whoa.
Yes.
But they work on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had this happen twice with Asian women, that I've found that there's a quiet palette, and then then they can also do this Shazam kind of thing. I
And
find that really interesting.
yes, what do you attribute that to? Why do you think that is? What is your consensus on that?
I think her skin was, it's hard to recollect, but it must have been pretty neutral, so
Okay.
that she could go, and then she had this personality that she was basically a soft type, but
Yes.
she could just like turn on the blazes. And
Okay, that's
yeah,
interesting. Do you
yeah,
think that part of that turn on the blazes is due to her profession? You know, she's in the media. You have to
yeah, perhaps.
style, and
Hmm.
also the camera eats color. And so
Yeah,
she probably was trying to amp up her presence, her
yeah,
colorful presence on
right.
camera, because
Yeah,
otherwise you can look very dull when you're
yeah,
not. You know,
yeah,
the camera just goes whomp and eats you up.
yeah,
Good on her that she
yeah.
knew.
She I did her colors before she went for a shoot in Tuscany, poor thing.
Oh,
And so she's like, what do I wear for the back? The background is these buildings and those, these colors, the Italian, uh,
yes.
uh, you
Rich
know,
browns and the
and so we went with a kind of a uh, dark blue green,
oh,
dusty dark
nice.
blue green,
Okay.
which was stunning against the adobe
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
pink. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's great. Well, we could go on for a long
Yes,
time, but
we
I don't know
could.
how long our listeners or watchers will want to go on. So tell
Mhm.
me what, 2 things. One, I understand you teach a class called, or a program called The Art of Mindful Aging. Can you tell me
Yes,
a little bit about that?
sure, sure. As long as I can remember, I've always been fascinated by the elderly. I don't know why, but I always have. I don't know if it was the difference in the color of their hair, or if I
Mm.
just felt their wisdom and love and care, and the stories that they told were so heartwarming, and they were just lovely, lovely people in my life. And as I got older, I began to experience the isolation and invisibility that older people have experienced. And I got kind of upset about it, because this is a group of people that have so much to offer, so much wisdom and knowledge, institutional knowledge, no matter if they were CEOs or what they did for work. So I've always been fascinated by them. So I started this company to give them a voice, a place to gather and talk about how they felt about aging, what was going on in their world, what they wanted to say, accessing their value, and how they could contribute to their communities, and how we could reach out to the community and showcase who they were. So that's why I started the company. And then it morphed into women who wanted to do this and look good doing it. And I thought, aha, mature beauty and style, they kind of go together.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's where I am.
Yeah,
And waving the flag down here in Los Angeles, where, if you're not 20
the
years old,
land of the youth.
yes, yes,
Yeah, and the blonde.
yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
right. So where could people find you? I mean, I know that there's a lot of color people down in the LA area, the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm the only one, I think, in the Portland area that
Isn't
does
that
kind of,
cool? Hmm.
it's, yeah, yeah.
That's
But
great.
anyway, so where can people find you?
Denise at theartofmindfulaging.com. I know that's a
Oh,
mouthful. And then theartofmindfulaging.com is the website, and it includes both aging and style.
oh, good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And I'm here to really empower the aging and empower women to be who they can be. There's something so beautiful about aging that we're not aware of. You know,
Yeah.
radiance is not just for a 20. Yes,
I'm trying. I'm trying.
you're doing a great job, Joy. And I'm so inspired by your trips to Europe every year and your walk. What'd you say you had 100 steps or 100,000? How many steps did you have?
Oh, in France, in Paris?
Yes.
Oh, it was. I think I made it up to 14,000 one day, but yeah, yeah,
Mhm. See, we're vital, we're vivacious, and we're
yeah,
still here. And people
we
need to
are
know that about
indeed.
us.
Although
Yeah.
you only have 6 gray hairs and I have 100,000.
It's my Native American heritage. I have a little more than that, but my
Uh,
grandmother died at 90 something and didn't have much gray hair. So it's just in my genes.
yeah, you're
Mhm.
lucky, or not,
Yeah,
depending. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's been a delight to speak with you
Thank
and to
you.
actually get to meet
Likewise.
you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
someday we'll see each other in person when we have a conference again.
Yes. Or when
Maybe.
I come up to Portland, huh, or you
Yes,
come to Los
absolutely.
Angeles. Yes.
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye
And
bye.
bye bye.